All right, good morning, everyone. It's April 17th of 2024, and wanted to do a video here today before the market opens. And what you see right here in front of me, these are the four ETFs that I teach people how to trade. SPXL, TNA, TQQQ, and UDOW. I won't go into details of why, but if you want to know why, come and take a look at the Discord channel. We have all kinds of material out there that explains why we teach new straters how to trade their retirement account. And what I want to point out here is that we've had a lot of good questions lately. And if you look at where we are right now in the market, let's just start with the SPXL. This mirrors the S&P. You can see based upon our process here, this B11 simply states that we've had 11 days since the 2-day moving average crossed below the 10, and you can see how we've tried to take it back once, twice, three times, and then we finally just sold off. Now, what we have below here is very interesting because when you look at this, you can see that we've got this gap down here at the 116.29 area. But we've had this tremendous run right here. And for those of you who follow, you know that this is like a run, a rest, a run. And now today it looks like we're going to try to gap up and get back up into its area to rest a little bit before possibly, continuing up in the earnings or just filling this gap. And the reason I say that is because if you look at the cues here, you can see that we actually did fill this gap right there, okay? And my lines, because I'm a visual person, if you see the dashed line, that means there's a gap there. I took it out because it already filled. But this is another example of where now we have a fresh crossover to the downside again because we're at a B02. And all these scripts are available in the Discord channel, or if you want my workspace, I'll post it out on Twitter. I'd love to have you follow and just get a better idea of how the market moves. But let's look at the cues here. So this was where we crossed over and then we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. And we tried to get back up here. And then immediately the next day we went right below again and then we sold off hard. And we filled this gap. So do we bounce today? Is this where we finally get the 2-2 reversal right here? And you should have a 5681 alert set for this if you trade this strat, because that would be a 2-2 reversal on the daily. But just keep in mind that the purple line here represents where we broke the month support. So we've got to get back into this 5729 area and then possibly, hopefully, run here. But I mean, not to get off track here, if you look at some big names like Apple, you can see Apple did the same thing here, where we had this run, rest, run, and then we popped right back up to run, and then we rested and just sold right off right here. So just keep in mind that we're right there on that month support for Apple. Let's get back to our charts here. So that's the cues. The cues by far, if we're going to run lower, this is the one I want to be in. And this is actually my favorite ETF to trade out of the four long. And let me explain why. You can short it, you can go long, and the options on this thing are incredible. And this is my bread and butter. And I'll trade this one sometimes 3 to 5 times a day. Or, if things are really moving, I'll just sit in it. But the important thing is that you find something that you feel comfortable trading, and by far this one is the most liquid out of the four right here. TNA is my second favorite one. So if we look at TNA here, we can actually see how we had this run, rest, and then run, rest, and then run motion back down. And we're trying to gap up again. We're trying to gap up here. I still have a covered call through all this because I think that sooner or later, you know, I think we're going to come back up in this area and retest this 10-day moving average of 37.68. Will we do that within the next couple days? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I do know that this line here at 32.66, this is a key area. And if they want to, they're going to try to bring it up and then hopefully dump it, or bring it up and then run it back up. Either which way, you've got to be prepared. So that's TNA, and we have 11 days below. Let's look at the last ETF here, which is UDOW. And again, this beautiful run, rest, run motion, right? And 73.02 was a key area. You can see where buyers stepped in and kind of supported this. We have an inside day on this, so you want 73.63 to alert you if it's going higher, and then you would just try to trade this back up to this area right here. Otherwise, we could go lower here, and you want this alert too for 71.97, because we could run to this 70.59. Now you can see right now we are trying to gap the market a little bit, but let me tell you, that doesn't mean anything. And I know so many new traders who put too much weight into that, believing that if we gap, we're going to run, and if we gap down, we're going to fail. But that's not the case. What you have to do, you have to get to the point where you understand how to trade around all the support and resistance areas. And that's one of the things you're going to learn in the Discord. Let's take a quick look here at what I have as far as a watch list. You guys can pause the video, take a snapshot of what I have here. I won't go into great details, but I wanted to simplify this even more to the point where new traders would understand this. You can see right now that Airbnb is trying to go lower, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to bounce a little bit today in this area. So just keep in mind that when something goes in force for the month, I think people have this mindset that immediately once it goes in force that it's just going to run down here, and that isn't true. Sometimes what they'll do, they'll take this, and I wish I had my other editor, but I don't. They'll run it, they'll rest it, and then they'll run it, and then once it triggers down, what they'll do, they'll bring it back up to rest it, and then they might take it down. Study the charts, it's there, the run, rest, run. Nonetheless, though, we've got 2 down for the month, 2 down for the week, and we'll see what happens with that one. Abercrombie and Fitch is a good example of this, where we triggered down right here at the 114.49, and you can see that people thought it was going to go lower, and they immediately brought it back up. This is that run, rest, run, and then maybe we get another day of rest here and challenge this 120.13 area before we go back down. I don't know. You got to keep an open mind. ARM, this one is just a beautiful consolidation here, in my opinion. This one, if the market cooperates, I would love to see this one get back to 164. Looks good. We've got earnings coming up in May here. BLDR, this one got hit hard the last few days. Now an 11-day downtrend, and you can see that we're due for a bounce here. And that's the theme right now, is that we've had so many stocks run to the downside that now we're kind of just waiting patiently for this bounce, and hopefully we'll get it here so we can go down lower. But BMY, another 10-day one. BNS, bank sold off hard yesterday. Bank of America was another one that was just really awful. Let's see, BRBR, same theme. A lot of these 2 down for the month. CF 2 down for the month. Costco 2 down for the month. Cisco, this was a new one that I came across yesterday or today when I was doing my homework. I always call it homework because, I mean, no one really wants to do it, but yet at the same time, it's kind of necessary. But look at Cisco here. We've got this 3-1 set up on the week, and we could go 2-2-2 down for the month. But this thing looks like it wants to get back down to this 46.20 area. So keep that in mind, because we got to get outside of this 2 bar right here. This is a big mother bar. Sooner or later, price is going to get above this or below this. it will happen. And just look at how long they've taken to frustrate traders in this. So hopefully when they decide to move it up or down, they do it quickly. Carvana, another one where we're breaking the monthly support. 322 down. Expedia 312 down on the month. Fastenal 222 down. Look at how they got out of this one. So this was your trigger right here in the week, and by them taking it down for the next 3 weeks, they triggered this 71.73, and they just keep moving it lower and lower. It's like dominoes. HPE finally filled the gap that we talked about. Just got to be patient with this one. Look at the big mother bar on the month here and on the week. Sooner or later, we are going to get outside of this range. H&R Block, beautiful consolidation. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this one. Levi, love how Levi has this full time frame continuity here. It's an A1, so it's a fresh crossover to the upside, and I like Levi to 2232 or 2239 here, and I'm going to set an alert. I'll look to get into Levi here if the opportunity presents itself. Norwegian Cruise Line 22 down. Nutanix, same thing, 22 down on the month. Nvidia is still it's doing fine. It's just consolidating. I'm long quite a few shares in this name. Really believe that it has a potential here to get back up to that 974 because look at what we have coming up. Earnings about a month out. So keep that in mind. Doesn't mean that we're not going to come down here and fill this gap first and then go back up. Just got to keep an open mind. Can't stress that enough. Pure Storage looks good here. Still trying to decide whether or not it wants to go 222 continuation for the month or 22 rev back down. Watch the price action here. If it goes up, 58.46 is your target. If it goes down, 48.89. Rocket, this thing has been selling off for the last 5 days. This is a name I like long term. And so I will sell covered calls against this and collect the premium. And then when I get up, I think my last one was up over 60% on that contract. I closed it. And I'll just keep selling it until, it does what I want it to. Schwab is another name long that looks really good. 22 rev on the week here. And you can see that if we get going, we could get up to 78.09, 78, 18. That's the green line here. Shake Shack, this thing, it's still holding up. But you can see what's in force here for the month, 22 rev. And as long as we're below this 99.15, so do this. The low on this is 99.15. Create an alert and let the computer tell you when they're trying to get above 99.15, because here's the deal. If they take this back up to 99.15 and they fail, this baby could run down into a gap or down to this 73.76 because that would be the 22 rev. And these are the ones that you want to be in because the risk to reward is amazing on this thing if it works. Okay. Silver continues to be strong. Nothing wrong with silver. It has been moving for 12 days. Sono, same thing. 22 rev, not doing so hot. We got Trip here, 22 rev, another big name that could get down here to this 21.21 area. How patient are you? Well, until you learn how to sit in these, you're never going to have a winner like this. And I'm not saying that this one's going to work because we don't know what will or what won't, but this one has a lot of potential. You can see how we filled this gap right here. Let me bring that up. There was a gap right here. And look at that. We filled it the day before and then we came right back up and then we just kind of sat here. So the question is do they bring it back up or do they bring it back up and then fail it? We'll see. Uber, 222 rev still in force. Let's see if they want to do anything with this one. If it fails, we've got a gap down here, and we've got a target of 65.59. And then Wayfarers, this is just a great example of a run, rest, run. And look at this, we got a gap down here and then a target of 47.32 with a 2-2 rev in force for the week. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, I'm in the Discord, or you can actually just post something on my Twitter account. So until then, God bless and take care.